Morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to A1 Vacuum and Sewing's live stream for Friyay, as Jeannie would call it. It is the A1 Reno Vacuum and Sewing's Friday giveaway day too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's like we watched Trading Places.
That's Patrick's dad's favorite movie, so he wanted to show it to Violet.
Well, it's in today's world, it's it's still
timely.
It's still totally timely, and B, how crazy is it that in the late 80s they made that movie? I mean, it was cutting edge at the time with the subject matter, but
you know what else is funny? They showed a lot of boobs, and it's PG.
It's PG, so
do you remember? And when we watched 16 Candles,
and Jamie Lee Curtis, whoa!
Oh my god! And then when we watched 16 Candles, they showed boobs in that too.
Like in the very first 3 minutes.
It's PG. So I think that was just like you just expected if you were going to go to a PG movie that you were going to see boobs.
The good old days. So
I don't think they show boobs anymore in PG, do they?
No, there's a lot more male full frontal nudity in
Not
movies.
in PG.
No, but that's like the new hot thing.
And who wants to see that?
So
give me boobs.
So it's funny because I've always done it here in the store. It's from that
full
movie.
Frontal?
No.
He doesn't do that.
The thing that always happens is there's that scene where Billy Ray is in jail and there's the dude who's like, "Oh, really? You're the world's greatest combat artist?" And the other guy's like, "Yeah." That's all he does. Yeah. I don't know. It's funny.
Is that your tagline today?
Well, no, I always do that.
On,
like every now and then she says something and I'm like,
you're going to ask Patrick something and he's just going to be like, yeah.
No, it's just an affirmation of whatever you say. You'll be like, good morning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. Okay. For the...
As long as I keep my mask on.
I think we'd be shut down. A1 Vacuum and Sewing would be shut down if that happened.
Either that or we'd be way busier. I don't know. Jury's out.
Everyone will be like, is Patrick here? I'm so sorry. Are we going to get in trouble?
No.
Okay.
Or
We're
maybe.
Gonna get shut down by the who's the in charge of
the FCC.
The FCC.
I don't think the FCC is paying attention to the A1 Vacuum and Sewing live stream.
I always get in trouble by HR.
Yeah.
You're HR.
I'm definitely not HR because I would be the worst HR.
Every now and then I'm like, HR is noting and writing you up for that comment, Jeannie.
Oh, okay. Sew along, gals. Christine's putting together a page for each of you because we really want to highlight the fills being used. So,
the ladies that took part in the sew-along did an amazing job.
Yeah, you did absolutely an amazing job.
And we want to make sure it's properly pretty and represented.
Yeah, so you could send me some more close-ups. And Joanne, I have yours here. So voting's going to start on Tuesday, and then it'll go through Friday. So sorry for the delay, but she put something together, and then we were looking at it going, ooh, you can't see the fill, so let's make it even. What, bam.
Bam, bam.
Make it pop.
Yes. We want it to pop.
It's not yes. It's
yeah. I'm not good at that. That's not my thing. Would that mean you could get unemployment if he fired? That would be like me firing me.
She, given her status as a shareholder, cannot receive unemployment.
I'm the secretary. So when we start, so Patrick's the president.
So
I told him next year I want to be the president.
You have to have office. You have to have officers. And years ago, when we established the officers,
when it was you, me, and Peter.
It was you, me, and Peter. So Peter was like, I have to be CEO. So we made Peter CEO.
Yeah.
And then I was the treasurer. And Jeannie was like, I don't want to be anything. And I'm like, you have to be an officer. She's like, I'll be the secretary.
Secretary.
So we had to file our list.
We
do that every year. And I
just
did that. And so the last time we did it, I was like, you can be whatever you want. And she's like, I just want to remain the secretary.
No, I said I want to be president. And then he told me
a year
CEO.
ago, I was like, these are your choices and these are the defined, like what you're supposed to do. And she's like, just leave me as the secretary.
Yeah, because there was too many responsibilities
then
for the CEO.
2 months ago, we're refiling our list and she goes to sign it and she's like, I'm the secretary? And I'm like, that's what you asked for like 4 or 5 years now. And she's like, next year I want to be CEO. Which actually we have to file a change
but it's
list
just
and all that stuff.
It's just a title. So maybe I should be CEO. I've never been a CEO before. Then I could put it on my resume that I was the CEO.
I'll give you all those responsibilities too.
As CEO, I'm going to appoint all those responsibilities to you, right? Because I can do that. Okay. We're just sitting here BSing right now.
Well, that's what makes us so special. So,
yeah.
I feel like every day gets crazier. So, all the news going around this morning. No, I'm just talking about 165,000.
That's much bigger, Anne. Yeah, that's big. I'm CEO at home. Yes, I am.
I don't know about that one either.
I am definitely CEO at home.
She's HR at home. She hires and fires. So,
the ladies have something really important to share.
So today's technique is awesome. So we don't want to take too much time. It is the giveaway day. So for anybody logging in for the first time on YouTube or Facebook, the way this works is you have to comment. So, it is, you can say hello, but you have to say something to be included in the giveaway. That is...
I'm trying to get fired.
Oh my God.
Karen, I've been trying to get fired.
There's a picture of Momo on our website.
Yeah,
now.
Because he has a lot of hair and you need an air filter if you're going to have a dog with a lot of hair.
So there are a small number of air filters left.
He's so cute. There's a picture of Momo underneath promotions or just on the main promotions. Yeah, if you click the promotions page, it's his 5-week photo shoot. And there's one picture where he has like all this stuff.
They were giving him yogurt to keep them stationary.
Yeah, they were giving him Greek yogurt to make sure they would just sit there. And so he's got a big Greek yogurt mustache. And then next picture, it's totally clean. So he was sitting there like licking it all off.
That's so cute.
So for those of you who want to take part in the giveaway, every Friday we give product away, and
today's a very useful product.
Yeah. So just make a comment, YouTube and Facebook. For those commenting on YouTube, we put a comment into the comments because the generator, the random comment generator, only picks up from Facebook.
Oh, did you see Terry Davis? Okay, Terry, we see that comment. And we'll deal with that.
So to touch on that really quickly, the way that's going to work, and we have a couple of folks who are out of town, and we'll just basically kind of fudge it and make it work. But what Brother wants to do is swap the playbooks. You wouldn't have to give us the playbook back until we had the replacement. But if you're out of town, I think I'm just going to pull the USB and send you the USB and then send that one back. But that's kind of how they wanted to play it. So if you're local, we're going to ask that you just come in. We're just going to swap you for a brand new playbook. So,
Miss Terry, I don't know if you were on the live feed the other day, but I guess there were some playbooks that were sent out without the little USB card. So we'll You're making a
We'll
note of
handle
it?
that. We'll
You're
handle
gonna
that. Yeah,
make a-
and it's funny. So brother has a process for this. We're in the middle of that process. But I do need to know, we did announce it in the live stream a couple of days ago. We've got about 30 days to deal with it, but I should know now. So if you have received your playbook, make sure you check it. We checked all the playbooks here in the store. We did not open them, but you can feel if that card is there or not. So if yours is here waiting for you, we know that those do indeed have the card. I did do a video of what that card looks like and how it's a USB. So make sure that you check that, because we've talked to a handful of folks that were like, I didn't get the USB. But they got the USB. They just didn't know what the card looked like. So that was, I think, Tuesday or Wednesday. So if you want to look back in the archived live streams, that's there. So regarding the giveaway today is...
And we did these as a daily deal, but this is the giveaway today. It's a Yazzie sewing machine foot organizer. Because who doesn't need another organizer? Because it will make you more organized.
This is how it works in my house. I'm like, buying a new piece of furniture is not going to solve our hoarding problem.
No,
our collecting
He
problem.
tells me when I want to buy like an organizer, I'm like, oh, look at that. And I want to buy it. He goes, that's not going to help you be more organized. Isn't he mean? But it's true.
I'm being real.
So,
I realized a while ago, like it took like 5 years into the relationship for me to realize it. But I was like, oh my God, every time she buys something to get more organized, she just fills it and then it expands. She's like that amazing creature in the the amazing creature from the most recent Harry Potter film that expands to fill the space that it's in. Like, she just keeps expanding.
I do. That's why I was like, we can never buy a house bigger than this, because I will fill it.
Yeah, we bought a house and we're like, yeah, it's going to be so much more
in the
room.
sewing
And then I'm
room,
like,
and
okay, you can no longer
packed.
keep buying stuff.
So, but this is what it looks like. And look at all the way you can organize all your feet. I have 2 of these. I have one for my surgery feet and I have one for my regular feet. And it's so wonderful. And it has some bigger pockets too. So this is the giveaway today, ladies. So just make a comment and we'll try and remember to do it today. We didn't remember until Saturday last time. And people are like, did you ever do the giveaway? And we're like, oh, no.
That's how busy it's been, though. It's been incredibly steady. There are a couple of folks who are waiting for calls back from me too, and I plan to have that all done
Dawn,
today.
I love organizing organizers. If you want to get rid of any of them, I'll take them. Another one for my embroidery machine. Okay, why don't we get out of the way? And the ladies will step in and they're going to show you something amazing. Prepare to be amazed.
Prepare to be amazed. So this goes back to that whole concept that we talked about years and years ago, but what we really want to do is give you all an idea of how this universe between software, the scan and cuts,
hi Sage,
and the IQ driven machines can work.
All right,
so,
let's step aside.
That all said, ladies,
Squeeze in way over here.
are we jumping straight to there right now?
No, software first.
Okay, so hang on. Let me go.
Good morning, everyone. So I want to preface this by saying you can consider this your Scan and Cut Friday, because Shauna's getting married next weekend. She won't be here. There will be no Scan and Cut Friday. So today what I'd love to show you is how the integration happens between all of the things that you own. So I'm going to begin with software, and what I did is I created a pumpkin. So I'm just going to, this is not meant to be a tutorial, so don't try to write furiously because you won't get it all.
And this is a class.
It is going to be a class. So,
okay.
I am going to begin. I am in PE design, and I will tell you when the steps become different for palette. First thing I'm going to do is set my hoop size in design settings, and it's a 9.5 by 9.5, which is what I started with. And then I'm going to bring in my SVG file. So I'm going to click import and vector image, and it's on my desktop, so it's easy to find. And I get a pumpkin embroidery design, but I want to make it an applique. So from the Shapes tab, I am going to turn on the running stitch and turn off the fill stitch. That gives me a pumpkin that is I can turn into an applique. Now I know I want to send this to my Scan and Cut. And I know that when the Scan and Cut cuts, I'm using Misty Fuse, so my fabric will be down, my Misty Fuse will be up, so I need to rotate this image. I need to do a horizontal flip, and then I want to change the color to applique material because that's what the Scan and Cut reads.
Wow.
So now, if you're working in palette, this would be the time that you would save this to a USB and walk it over to your Scan and Cut. In PE Design, we have a Scan and Cut tab, so I can actually just send it right over to my Scan and Cut. Now, I don't need extra space because this is going to be a blanket stitch. So now I can send to Canvas. And you can see that it has indicated that. And yes, because it is reversed, I can also send it to the Scan and Cut. So I'm going to send it over for Shauna to take over. Now, there's going to be a little bit of time travel happening here so that we can show you how this all works. So, Shauna, will you show them now that I've sent the design to the Scan and Cut?
So we're going to go over to Retrieve Data, and then we're going to go to the Wi-Fi, and it's retrieving. Dun, 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 dun! And there it is!
So there's the first step of my pumpkin applique. So I would be pushing the go button on there, and now I'll finish my design and send it to the machine from here. So I'm going to go home. Now I had mirror imaged it, so I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to flip it horizontally. Well, at least we know they're
Wow,
paying attention.
now we're back.
No sound. Got it. We're fixing it right now. Bye.
So I'm skipping over to this one over here because I want you to see the applique.
Well, hopefully it's fixed.
So now I am just going to say okay and put the foot down and select go.
Do we have sound now, guys?
Yes,
Yeah,
we
we have
do.
sound.
We can see it.
Okay.
I don't think they missed much. We were just talking about how amazing it is that
So
the
can you
pieces line
scan
up
in there?
perfectly.
So look at how beautiful that is. Oops, I put the wrong piece down. Oh well. I put my piece on upside down. So much for time travel, right? But just know that if this was the right piece, this piece goes over here, that you would get, where's the sample?
Up there. I put it right there for you, Michelle.
That you would get this. So literally it was 10 steps, 11 steps if you have palette because you have to download it to a USB.
That's so incredible.
And
It's so cute.
yeah, it is. But look at how tiny the stitches are here around the blanket stitches around the stem.
And it's so
And look how
precise.
perfect the pieces fit. I mean, honestly, this was me. I put the wrong piece on the wrong side. But everything
It's
was
so
perfect. And
perfect.
this was, I always do a test sew. Those are the people that are in my software class. They're going into week 5, I think, and they're already working with SVG files and background fills. So
Oh my God.
many of them have been able to do this already on their own. So, it's a lot of fun using what you have.
That's
So,
incredible.
So they
long
missed- they
story
missed 2
short,
minutes.
they're saying they missed 2 minutes. The plug came unplugged from the microphone. So,
Do you want to record it later again?
maybe what we'll do is we'll record we'll do a separate recording where they can even take a little bit more time. I mean, one of the challenges of what we were trying to do here was doing it in
15 minutes.
doing it in time
Yeah.
that would allow us to do it for this. So the
For
ladies
live.
were kind of rushing and
okay.
going through that anyways.
This was another SVG file.
So
So this is another thing that you can do with
that camera.
SVG files. So is this for that thing that you get with the fabric?
I'm a tester for Cami Lulu Custom Fabrics.
Yeah, so Michelle's a tester for, what is it, Tammy Lulu?
Cami Lulu.
Cami Lulu tester fabric. So they will send her like a little surprise packet of fabric. This was the fabric that they sent.
It's so,
So-
Disney.
I know, isn't that adorable?
Most of theirs are.
That's so fun.
And
That's why I signed up.
She took an SVG file and then
I take something that matches the fabric. I find an SVG file, I make a bow, I do something that's different that actually complements the fabric.
And so this is what she came up with. Look at her zipper. And her little tassel.
Amazing.
And her zipper pull. With Michelle, I think it's always I could do this, but it would never look this good because I wouldn't have all this amazing detail that she takes it from yeah, it looks good to like, oh my God. That is amazing.
Literally.
And this is her glitter vinyl that she used. I think this is a Parker
Parker on porch.
A Parker on the porch pattern. Don't you love it? Do you want a class?
fantastic.
Edited in software.
Yes, and edited in software. So, another reason. And how long did it take you to edit that in software?
Oh, 2 minutes.
2 minutes. Once you know what you're doing, 2 minutes.
SVG file. I did do a test out of I always do a test out on SVG because an SVG is a cutting file. So its DNA doesn't always include looking good in stitches. So it's always a good idea to do a test stitch. And when we do the recording of the pumpkin, when I get the pieces on in the correct order, I will show you what my first stitch out was. I have a test stitch out of that I did before. If it matters, do a test stitch. I don't care how many years I spend with software. If it matters, I always do a test stitch.
So, given the 2 minutes of silence, what we'll do is we'll reshoot the video in a less rush format too, where you guys can actually see what's happening. This was meant less to be
It was never meant to be a tutorial. Was not meant to be something you could take notes for. It will be a class later.
But meant to be, an indication. So for any of the
possibilities.
Yeah. Well, so so the classes that you've done so far that have incorporated these same techniques were the table runner.
They did it for the 4th of July table runner. I think some of us did it with the ice cream cone social. Those that used the scan and cut portion did it with the ice cream social. The ones that have done the bows class have actually created the bows themselves using the SVGs in the bow class, and we actually used the software to convert our files for the Halloween into cut files that the scan and cut would recognize. So I love to incorporate that as often as I can because I love that scan and cut, and I love it because it makes my life so easy. And
that was really kind of the idea here for those. And one of the things that's happening in the store right now is the classes that we are doing has generated a lot of interest in the scan and cut. It's generated a lot of interest in the software. It's generated a lot of interest in the integration between the IQ driven machines, the design center driven machines, the scan and cut, and the software. So what we were really trying to do here, even with our 2-minute gap in sound, was not so much say, hey, these are the steps that you have to follow. Although Michelle did go through each of those steps. What we really were looking to do is for anybody who's been looking at this going, they've kind of seen it piece by piece, but without those machines, it's understanding the integration between those machines. Like, this is where the industry is going. And I mean, this will be the class. Do we have a date for the class yet?
No. You know what? With the Floriani Tonal Control University, I don't know how to make that happen in a demo without software. This was a SVG file that I converted in software. So you could do it with a purchase design, however you convert in Floriani, but this is not going to translate into that. I don't know how to do it in other people's software.
Well, but the beauty of it is, the idea behind it, and it goes back to that conversation that Michelle and I had a couple of years ago, is what I was saying was we exist in this universe where all this stuff integrates, and the way that it integrates is perfect. The idea that you could set this up and have the machine cut all your pieces and then take that same file, wirelessly transfer it to your device, and have it perfectly applique.
Yeah, here's the pieces, the actual pieces that I just picked the wrong side of the pumpkin because it's mirror image, and I was trying to go fast.
Of course. Well, and that's how it works. Welcome to the world of live broadcasting.
SVG is a scalable vector graphic. It's what a lot of people use to make in other cutting machines to cut vinyl and stuff like that. But I discovered a couple years ago that they translate almost perfectly in embroidery software. So it's great for beginners because they can create. Right out of the gate, they can create using that. So, again, lettering not so much, but shapes and stuff is just really easy.
Well, and so to be able to cut that, and then
will Alexa do it? This has to be one of your friends. No, Alexa won't do it.
At the same, that's Susan Daniels.
No, you, Alexa's. My Alexa's too tired.
Only if you call her Alessandra. But to go from this to this and to know it's perfect. And I mean, on a lot of these machines, you've got the ability to place, you've got the ability to project. And the simple idea behind these levels of integration, what I had originally said to Michelle a couple of years ago is where I see this all going is if they have software in the machine, they can do it.
Yeah.
If they have software, we can just show them the software portion. If they only have the machine, they can do it. If they only have the scan and cut, they can do it. But when they have all three, and it can be cross-platform for our Baby Lock ladies.
Yes,
Palette
absolutely.
and the Baby Lock machines. While it doesn't have the direct wireless capability, it will all work. You just, for some of those steps where we just did everything wirelessly, you do it with a thumb drive, but it will all work. And the idea behind that integration and how much easier that makes your life when you know how to do it is crazy.
Can I answer a couple of things?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, can this be done without software? You can, so most of the time when you buy an SVG file, you get the SVG, but you also get a PDF of what it looks like. The PDF is something that you can put on your USB drive and take to your either Destiny, Dream, Luminaire, Solaris machines. You can import the SVG into Design Center or IQ, and you can create there. But literally, you have to do all of the lines and to create the applique.
It's a more difficult
it's a
and
more
a less
difficult.
precise process.
So can you import an SVG into Canvas and go from there? I'm not sure how you're going to make it an applique design. The embroidery part of it was created in embroidery software. So can you take it into Canvas? Yes, absolutely. But Canvas can't make it stitches.
So, if you are interested in one of these pieces, right, then call me. We'll make it happen for you. So, Melinda, to answer your question, there are workarounds outside of software, but you're going to find that those workarounds are both significantly more challenging and, unfortunately, significantly less precise. So if you look at what Michelle just did, and once again, you didn't have sound, and we'll make that video later and post that video just so you can see it, but there's no manipulation once it's in the machine.
No.
And I mean, if you want to make sure it's perfect, you can project. But beyond that, and that's, exclusive to the Luminaire and the Solaris.
Yeah, user error is why it didn't fit.
Well, so I mean, it's that ability to be precise and do it in that way, and how easily it's done and how precisely it's done, that years ago I was like, we've got to incorporate all this. And
it was
I wasn't
a fabulous idea.
I didn't know anybody who was doing it. I knew she could do it. And I can't be more excited about the fact that we're doing it here, because I also, having looked around, haven't seen anybody else doing it.
No.
But that's the entire purpose of creating this environment and creating this world where these products integrate seamlessly. So, I mean, you can't do it with a Quilt and Go.
No.
You can't do it with
AccuQuilt.
other software. You can't do it.
That I know of.
Yeah. I mean, are there workarounds? Yes, but there's no perfect integration where between Baby Lock and Brother and Palette and PE Design and the Scan and Cuts.
It's a marriage made in heaven.
And the other machines, that's the entire purpose of having them all function in that same universe. And that's kind of what we wanted to show you guys. It's where the industry is going. And I'm sure the entire purpose of building the universe is to start kind of showing the customers this.
Yeah, there's in case you haven't heard, there's a Scan and Cut Club coming in 2021, because I want to make sure that you know how to use everything that can go with a Scan and Cut. And I know that a lot of you are reluctant with software because you bought software and then not had any backup as far as classes. I'm not going anywhere. I found a very
significantly changed here.
I had a very happy home here, and I'm not going anywhere. So, I think that I will be here to support you. So, Simply Applique looks interesting. It does, and it's a significantly less beefy program. In other words, a lot of the stuff that I did today, as far as being able to flip it horizontally, send it to the Scan and Cut, then bring it back and add a background field, would not be available in Simply Applique. Just a different program. It's a good program, but it's got less features.
So if somebody had the software, and I just can't remember, Kathy, if we've gotten you software yet, but if somebody had the PE Designer palette software, would there be any reason they would need Simply Applique?
No.
So
thank you, Gail.
So thank you very much. I know there was.
I may need a cot in the back room.
You guys should have seen her face like a week ago, I think, is when I was like, listen, this is what we've been talking about for so long. Can we boil it down to 15 minutes?
Well, it wasn't my face.
Happen?
It was Jeannie's face when I showed her the little diagram of what went on in my head in 15 minutes.
It was funny because I like about a week ago, I said to Michelle, I go, listen, we've been talking about this forever. Like we've done it in some of the classes, but let's try to boil it down in a presentable format. And listen, it wouldn't be A1 if we didn't have sound for 2 minutes. So, of course, it's got some warts on it. But the
warts just make us unique.
Well, I always go back to Nikki Brazel in the first show we did with Nikki, where Nikki's comment was, we had no idea, but in the background, Nikki was on the phone with our rep being like, who did you send me to? Like, we didn't have the machines in time. We didn't do any of this stuff in time. And then literally we did this show and we broke records. And at the end, she's like, you guys are just that dealer that can walk through poop and smell like roses. Like, and it created this amazing relationship. So I almost love the fact that it wasn't perfect today.
Yeah.
And I know it's tough on you ladies because that means you need to log back in to watch the video that we'll post later.
It'll have sound and, but I'm still not going to give you the directions because it's going to be a class. What fun would that be for me if I gave you all the directions to begin with? I'm still going to,
And the idea here
brief
was
synopsis.
to boil it into like a 15-minute, 10-minute thing where you guys could see the world in which this integration has such a major impact on your sewing life. I mean, imagine what you could do in quilting and just that perfect applique and obviously we're building classes around this, we being Michelle. But a week ago, I told this to Michelle. Michelle, about 10 or 15 minutes later, walked over with kind of the diagram of the steps and how to boil it down. And I looked at her and I was like, Michelle, like if this isn't possible, I don't want to task you with something that's going to take you to ever.
But I came back with it on Tuesday.
I was like, I don't want to task you with something that's impossible. But if it is possible, let's figure out how to do it. And then on Tuesday, she walked in with this, and Jeannie was like, oh my God, that's a new class, which it will be. But the beauty of it was helping folks understand. I mean, that integration in that world in which all three pieces exist in harmony is awesome. And so here's the deal, Terry, and a couple of folks have kind of mentioned interest in some stuff. If you want any of this stuff, reach out to me. I'm ready to wheel and deal. We're ready to get you those missing pieces. The beauty of this integration is you don't have to have all three pieces to take part in part of it. But the world in which all three exists, that's kind of where you want to be. Somebody mentioned the possibilities are endless. Gail did.
Yeah,
and,
they are.
And
really.
and that's what excites me. Like 2 years ago when we saw the software and we saw how easy the software had become, because we'd never pushed the software. Quite frankly,
Most
version
dealers
10,
most dealers
version
hadn't.
10 was much more difficult to use. When we kind of started seeing what I call push button possibilities, right? That rather than there being 30 steps, you could boil it down to 8 or 10 to make
10.
beautiful things happen. I kind of went, whoa, this is crazy. And the fact that you can integrate all this to create perfect product is just awesome.
Yeah, it is. It truly is. It does. I'm not, like I said, I'm not going anywhere. I have found a happy home, and I love the scan and cut, and I love all of it together. And
we couldn't be more excited too.
I love that. I love that imperfect is okay, and I think that it's okay because I think we push ourselves so hard that we try to think that everything we do has to be perfect, and it's not a perfect world, and sometimes we make mistakes and we put the piece on upside down, and it's okay. So yeah, good.
So,
Terry, I can set you up with that. You just come right on down.
Well, and so I have, and this is just to highlight what's available in the store. So I have one remaining S230D, which
only
the
one.
top of the line version. So those were the limited edition version.
Comes with a kit, a tool kit. It
Yeah,
comes with a
I mean,
roll
you're getting
feeder.
like $150 worth of extra stuff with that version, and that 230D. Their national special right now is $400 below retail. I have just received ship notification of the new 230DX, which is the same as the 230D, but is also coming with the fabric mat.
It comes with the fabric mat. It comes with the vinyl upgrade kit. There was a whole list of things that, so in other words, everything that you would buy that was new that came out, other than the playbook, is going to come built into that that new 230D. DDX.
It's the SDX 230DX. Where
you think you would have thought they could have come up with something better than that? That's a tongue twister.
The point that I'm making though is that DX 230D is still at closeout pricing.
Yes.
And the price is crazy. I mean, for a $1,300 product, it's basically priced at $899. I've got one left. I had two left yesterday. One went home, or one essentially got a name put on it to go home. Those DX 230DX are coming. I've got 3 of the 5 that I ordered were released, and they are coming. So
you have more fabric mats coming? Yeah.
For more fabric mats coming. I bundled, and just to make a long story short, what I did for the person that was getting the 230D is I just included the fabric mat, because I wasn't sure when those DX 230DXs were coming, but I haven't seen mat pricing on those yet. My price has gone up on those, but I think, because it's a brand new product, they'll be basically $12.99, and I can do a deal on those too.
Includes like $100 worth of stuff,
right,
or more in it.
So, but I can kind of bundle that 230D with that stuff and still give you a better deal. It's a closeout. Deal of the day surely is coming. We've been hesitant to do another deal of the day on scan and cuts on the 225s or the 230DXs because they've been released in limited quantities. Like the supply chain is working to catch up to dealers' orders, and we've had this experience this fall where stuff has fallen way far behind, and we just haven't wanted to go further in the hole with customers that have done the deal of the day. If you're interested, call me. We'll make it happen. You'll get a great deal, kind of deal of the day style. So don't forget to make a comment. I haven't seen any comments from YouTube. That's okay. But if you are on YouTube watching, say hello, say something, and that way you're incorporated into the giveaway. Giveaway is the Yazzie sewing machine feet organizer. If you want software, don't wait for deal of the day. Just call me. I'll make you a great deal. I've had it on a deal in the store at $1,500. It's normally $2,400. I've had it in the store now at $14.99.99. Call me. We'll make a deal. I'll make it happen for you if you want to do it. So give us a shout. We love you guys. Jeannie?
Yeah.
Tagline?
Yeah. Be creative. Make something awesome.
Yeah.
Be inspired every day.
All right. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.